Have you ever wondered what it takes for the human spirit to endure something truly unimaginable? Well, today we're diving into that exact question with an incredible story from World War II called The Boys in the Light. And this is not just some made-up tale. It's based on the real lived experiences of the author's own father. That makes it this deeply personal story of survival, of faith, and of brotherhood. And it really makes you ask, even in the absolute darkest moments of our history, can good actually triumph over evil? You know, at the very heart of this whole thing is one single nagging question. A question that just haunted the soldiers fighting their way across Europe. After months, sometimes years, of just brutal, exhausting conflict, they kept wondering, all this sacrifice, all the loss, was it really worth it? So, the answer to that huge question, it unfolds by following two parallel journeys. We're going to track two very different groups of young men whose paths are, believe it or not, on an inevitable collision course. So on one side, you've got Eddie Willner, just a teenager whose entire world is completely shattered when he's thrown into the Nazi death camp system. And on the other side, a company of American GIs. These are ordinary guys, farmers and factory workers, who were suddenly thrust into the total chaos of war. Let's start by following Eddie Willner's harrowing path. And remember, this isn't just some historical account. No, this is deeply personal because Eddie was the author's own father. 16. I mean, just let that number sink in. 16. At an age when you're supposed to be dreaming about the future, about your career, maybe falling in love, having adventures, Eddie's entire world was just erased, replaced by a desperate, moment-to-moment fight for his next breath. And this ordeal wasn't short. We're talking 3 years. 3 years of being dragged through an absolute hell on earth. It all started with slave labor, right alongside his dad and his best friend. From there, he had to somehow survive the unimaginable brutality of the death camps. And it all culminated in the most infamous one of all, Auschwitz. Okay, so while Eddie is enduring all of that, a completely different story is unfolding hundreds of miles away. Now we meet Company D of the 3rd Armored Division, American soldiers battling their way right into the heart of Europe. And you have to remember, these guys weren't career soldiers. They were farmers, coal miners, factory workers, regular guys led by a captain who was only 23 years old himself. And even though they had become this battle-hardened unit, they were just exhausted. And through all the mud and all the fighting, they carried that same heavy question with them. What is this all for? And then, in one single, shocking moment, after all the fighting and all the doubt, they got their answer. This is it. This is the moment the entire story has been building towards. The moment when these two parallel journeys, separated by a whole continent and just vastly different experiences of the same war, finally intersect. I mean, just try to picture it. These bone-weary American soldiers are pushing through the German countryside, and suddenly, two figures just emerge from the trees. They're not enemy soldiers, they're just boys, emaciated boys, and one of them is Eddie Willner. Their arms are raised, and you can see the tattooed numbers from the camps. In that instant, for those soldiers, the abstract idea of fighting evil became terrifyingly, heartbreakingly real. That one moment, it really captures the entire point of the book. It's so much more than just a war story. It's this profound testament to the unbelievable endurance and resilience of the human spirit. So, what does this story really leave us with? Well, it all boils down to these powerful truths. The raw will to survive against literally impossible odds. The unbreakable bonds that are forged in the fire of war. And at the end of the day, the incredible resilience of the human soul. And look, it's not just us saying it. Critics have raved about this book's power. New York Times bestselling author Mitchell Zuckoff called it a magnificent work that shows you both the absolute best and the absolute worst of humanity. It's a story from the past, for sure, but its message is so essential for right now. Which really just leaves all of us with this final, lingering question. When faced with unimaginable darkness, what is it that allows hope and compassion and the human spirit not just to survive, but to shine? The link to this book is in the video description.